What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here with another player ratings video for you guys. Obviously, we have beaten Southampton 5-2 at St Mary's in an emphatic away victory, or an emphatic second half, shall we say.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
But look, it was great to get off to winning ways in the Premier League, our first win of the season this year. But let's get straight into the player ratings. Let's start off with Hugo Lloris, and we gave him an 8, and that was mainly to do with his first half performance, saving us a number of times, especially from point blank range. Some really good saves from Hugo Lloris there, saving our skins once again, really.
Yeah, there was one especially from Shea Adams from like just outside the 6-yard box, one-handed, tips over the bar, really spectacular save. And I think a number of times he was called into action, held on to shots, was really solid again. And as we say, ever since that injury, he's been absolutely well. He did get lucky in the first half.
I was about to say there was one hairy moment from Hugo Lloris. It wasn't offside. It was given a handball, so it was lucky. It went off Hugo Lloris's head onto, was it Danny Ings or Che Adams' hand? Danny Ings' hand, and luckily it was given a handball, but that could have gone anywhere. Literally, it could have gone anywhere.
Was a lucky moment for Hugo. But other than that, really solid game, and again proving how valuable and how good he's been since his injury.
Definitely. Let's move on to Davinson Sanchez. We gave him a 5. Started for his second game in a week after starting in Plovdiv. I thought wasn't great from Davinson, to be honest. I thought there were some tired moments, maybe not even tired moments, but some lackadaisical moments, bad passing, and just, he needs to up his concentration levels.
For the goal, he should be doing a lot better. I mean, Danny Ings gets in behind. He has a chance to shoot. He has a chance to close him down. And I know Ings kind of gets a shot off pretty quickly. But if Davinson just takes one step over to his left, he blocks that shot. And he needs to be more aggressive. He needs to be a bit more physical, which he usually is. But one thing I would say on Davinson is, I think it was for the third goal, lovely pass into Harry Kane. Harry Kane was obviously able to turn and pass into Son, but that was a bit of an improvement there. But he'll be disappointed with his role in the goal, and a few other moments. Danny Ings gets away from him, and he'll be disappointed in that.
Yeah, I mean the defence as a unit was pretty shocking, to be honest, for throughout, and Davinson and Eric Dyer, who we'll get onto a second, were a big part of that. But let's move on to Eric Dyer. We gave him a 5 as well. I mean, he was trying the Toby Pings all day long, and they were mostly going out of play. Really frustrating, as we're trying to build attacks from the back, and Dyer's just hoofing it up there out of play. And yeah, there were some really dodgy moments in there from Eric Dyer throughout the game, really.
His passing wasn't really as good as it can be. A lot of the times he was, as you say, was trying long balls and they just weren't coming off. And again, for the goal, I slated Sanchez, but he was just as culpable, losing Danny Ings' wrong side, doesn't know where he is, let him get a run on him, and then it was in the back of the net, and he's got to look at himself, and if he's thinking, if he wants to be a top-class centre-back, he's got to cut those lapses in concentration out of his game.
Yeah. Let's move on to Matt Doherty. We gave him a 4, our lowest rating in the back four. I mean, a new signing now, played 3 games for Spurs, and we haven't really seen much good things from him. I mean, on his debut, we saw a few nice moments, but that was just moments. But Matt Doherty, I mean, he's leaving space in behind him at right back. I think he's a bit weak in defence, it looks like. Gave away the penalty, which wasn't really his fault.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that.
Yeah, you can't blame him for the penalty, but on a whole, just not good enough, really.
I mean, how many times did Gineppo just have him on toast? Yeah. A few times. There was a one by the byline where he puts in a sliding challenge and Gineppo kind of just dances round him, and he could have given away a penalty there if he made any contact. I think a lot of the time it wasn't always his fault. I thought he was left quite exposed at right back, and a lot of the times he was left to defend 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 even sometimes with Bertrand and Gineppo, and he struggled big time. He was unlucky not to get an assist in the first couple of minutes after the goal was ruled out. That was a nice header, but other than that, how many times did we see him get forward and make contributions? Not many at all. He was kind of stuck back defending, and to be honest, he looked vulnerable. He really did. Yeah. Gineppo kind of looked like he had the beating of him every time. And he really didn't. He was I think he had the lowest pass completion rate in the whole team. I think nearly just over 50%. So that doesn't bode well either. So I think he needs to improve on that side of the game. But hopefully, going forward, we'll see more contributions going forward. Like his main attributes are attacking, not defending.
I would say in terms of when you compare him up to Serge Aurier, When Serge Aurier was playing mostly last season, he had Sissoko covering that space behind him. But I don't really think any of the midfielders were helping him cover that space, and I thought maybe that made him a bit vulnerable.
I don't think he was out of position much. I think he was in position. He was just left exposed a lot of the time. He was at that right back, but Djenepo was just taking him on time after time after time, and there was no one closing Djenepo down. So he had the freedom, and he's clearly a very good one-on-one dribbler. Djenepo, you can see that from yesterday, and it's Doherty, and there's no bones about it. He struggled against him yesterday.
Yeah. Let's move on to Ben Davies. We gave him a 6, the best defender for us on the day, I thought.
Yeah.
He provided loads of last-ditch tackles. I remember one off the top of my head that was really, really important.
That was inside the 6-yard box.
Yeah, saving a goal from Southampton. So, look, Davies... He didn't really contribute that much going forward. A few nice crosses into the box, but apart from that, his defensive play was on point, I thought.
I thought he actually did some really nice lofted passes over the top of the Southampton defence, and they in the first half anyway. That's where the goal came from. That was ruled out for offside after 2 minutes. Really floated ball off over the top for Son to run onto, and obviously that led to the goal. I thought he did a few nice moments there, but other than that, I think he dealt with Stuart Armstrong fairly well.
Yeah.
But it wasn't perfect. He was beaten a few times. But I think Davies was probably our most accomplished defender on the day. And I think he'll probably be happy with his day's work. And considering Reguilon coming in now, it was probably a good time to have it was a good time to have a good performance from him.
Let's move on to Harry Winks. We gave him a 4. To be honest, I'm really not impressed with Harry Winks in this position that he's playing alongside Hojbjerg. I don't see at the moment how you can put both of them in the same midfield. I just don't see it working at the moment. I think Harry Winks, he's not offering enough. His passing's going astray, and he's kind of getting lost in the middle of games at the moment, and he's not offering enough to the team. That's just my thing, and that's what I think.
I think the midfield two of Romeu and I can't remember Omar Prowse, they kind of overpowered. They definitely have the beating of our midfield two of Hojbjerg and Winks yesterday. Winks definitely was not on top of his game at all. I don't think his passing, wasn't great. It wasn't sharp enough. It wasn't clinical enough going forward. Especially when a team like Southampton, a team who like to press, you need someone like Winks to get on the ball and immediately play a quick ball forward into the attacking players, and he wasn't able to do that. I thought he was quite weak in the challenge, and I thought they outmuscled us, they outfought us, they were more physical, and it was a big reason why we struggled big time in the first half. But having said that, I thought the second half he did improve a bit. I thought he definitely improved his passing, and I think he was part of the reason why we were better. The whole team improved in the second half. But the first half, he really struggled badly, and he was a big reason why our defence was so exposed, because our midfield was nowhere. It's like we had no midfield at times. And I think Hojbjerg was more combative than he was. So I think he has to take some responsibility for that. Yeah,
let's move on to Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg. We gave him a 7. First game back at his old club, Southampton. Third game for Tottenham, and I thought this was probably his best game for Tottenham. We really started to see why we bought this guy. Combative in midfield, hard in the challenge, winning back possession, retaining possession. And I thought that his passing as well was a lot better to previous games. As I thought his last game, every pass was going astray from him, where this game, he put in a really good performance, and if he wasn't there in the middle, we would have been so weak in that middle of the park.
I think he played a bit deeper in the second half. He did. First half
I thought
as well.
Second half he was a lot better.
I thought, second half he was better. First half, I thought he started quite well. He made some really good challenges, and then he got lost a bit. Him and Winks were kind of all over the place, in the first half at times. And at times it was like, so how easy was it for Southampton to just play for us? So easy in the first half. Second half we made it a lot more difficult. Hojbjerg was a bit deeper. He kind of stood off a bit. He wasn't just so combative, press all the time. And I think it complemented his play. And it was, I was impressed with him yesterday. I thought he won quite a few challenges. He can compete in a lot of duels, and he made it a lot harder in the second half for Southampton to build up their moves like they were in the first.
But I think yesterday's second half performance was the reason why we bought him. Those are the kind of performances why we bought him. We need him to be our last defender back, and really challenging in the middle of the park, showing that aggressive streak that he has. I mean, when he was a bit further forward and he was just a bit like a loose chicken, headless chicken, and just not providing much for the team, but when he sits a bit further back, which I've been calling for, I think we saw the fruits of what he can offer.
I agree, and that's why I want more from Hojbjerg, more deeper positioning, because I feel like when he gets too involved in the play and too involved in the centre, he can kind of get lost. And there are better footballers than him there, who can pass the ball. He needs to be deeper and concentrate on what he's good at. And that's tackling, that's being physical, and that's winning the ball back from getting it to our better players.
Let's move on to Tanguy Ndombele. We gave him a 7. I think probably his best starting performance for a long time for Spurs, although he's only been there for a year. Yeah. But look, we gave him a 7, and the goal, the equaliser on the stroke of half-time, does not happen without him. That little turn to get away from Romeo was absolutely world-class.
It wasn't just a turn, it was physicality as well. Push Romeo off and then a little pirouette around Ward-Prowse. Yeah. It took 2 midfielders out and one move.
Literally, and then a killer pass as well. So I thought Ndombele, it wasn't a perfect performance, but I think it's a step in the right direction. He shows what he's all about, and I just can't wait to see him and Lo Celso starting together in the same team.
I agree. I thought it was a competent display by Ndombele. I was quite happy with how he played. As you said, his part of the goal was absolutely crucial for that to happen. One thing I would say is I think in the first half, I think he might have had the least touches of most of our players. So I want to see him get more involved. I want to see him get on the ball more, because we know the quality he has, and we know not only the quality, but he can receive the ball under pressure, as he showed for the goal, and he can deal with that pressure. He can turn on a play. He can be physical. He can use his physicality to fend off players. That's exactly what Moussa Dembele used to do. That's exactly what we need Ndombele to do. And he showed he's capable of doing that yesterday. Obviously, apparently it was pre-planned. He was going to go off early in the second half, and that yellow card he got in the first half kind of sped that decision up from Jose's standpoint. But I thought it was a good step in the right direction, and I think it was good first half from him, and hopefully Jose keeps saying nice things, keeps encouraging him. Apparently he's working very hard, so this could be the season where we see the real Ndombele.
Ndombele is coming, people. He's coming.
You watch.
Let's move on to Lucas Moura. We gave him a 3, our worst rating on the day. I mean, the stats on the screen that you can see right now says it all, to be honest. 0, 0, 0, 0. He offered absolutely nothing apart from a bit of running, and that's about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he probably picked the worst time to put in a bit of a disaster class, to be honest. As soon as Gareth Bale comes in, he should be looking at that sign and thinking, okay, Bale's coming in, but I'm still in this team.
Look at where Ben Davies' mindset is and Lucas Moura's mindset. And Ben Davies puts in probably our best defensive display, and Lucas Moura puts in our worst attacking display.
Yeah, and I hope this transfer doesn't dampen his confidence that he's going to be out of the team, because obviously he probably will be, but he's got to look at it as a challenge, and he's got to see that we're bringing a world-class player, but he's got to have confidence in himself to say, I'm still here, I'm still part of this team, and I'm still ready to challenge for a first-team spot. And it's even possible that Bale could play central and he could play right, so he can't be too downhearted on transfer like this. I don't know if that's why he put in a bad display or whatever.
I don't know. We've seen these performances from Lucas before.
But I'm saying he's picked a very bad time to have one of his worst displays of the season. He was really, really anonymous. Really anonymous. He had one moment in the whole game where he was offside. He gave an assist to Kane, but it was offside. That was the only thing he really did.
I remember sitting here watching with you, and I was saying, is Lucas even playing? And,
just completely anonymous. And not only was he anonymous, but he also wasn't helping Doherty at the back. Doherty, how many times do we say Doherty was exposed time after time? He wasn't tracking Bertrand. He wasn't helping out with Gineppo at all. So I think Lucas had a very poor game, and it's a shame for him. But look, we know he's a good player and he's got good qualities, but it just wasn't a good game for him at all. And, with Bell coming in, it's no surprise that that's the position that's most vulnerable in the team.
Yeah. And now let's move on to the 2 special players from yesterday. First of all, let's start with Heung-min Son. We gave him a big fat 10. Look, I mean, it was a quiet first 45 minutes from Heung-min Son. Scores that goal with a lovely, lovely finish right at the end that brings us back in the game.
You said it was a quiet first 45 minutes, but a few times, like first of all for the goal, he put a cross in, but that was offside. A couple of times he was one-on-one with just offside. A couple of times
that cross for the goal was actually an awful cross.
Yeah, it was overhit, but he was involved in the play, I'm saying. So there were danger signs actually for Southampton before we scored.
There were. I mean, it was clear that they targeted Heung-min Son and their high line. You know what I mean? They were trying to do that time and time again. In Match of the Day last night, they commented how they tried it twice. I think one of them was offside or two of them were offside, and then the third time we got that goal, and it was third time lucky. And then the second half, the heavens just opened pretty much. But look, the tactics were right from Heung-min Son and Harry Kane. Harry Kane was always trying to find Heung-min Son in behind. Like I just said, 45 minutes on the dot, we got that first goal. Heung-min Son with a lovely, lovely finish. In the second half, the heavens opened. He scored 3 more goals. His first Premier League hat-trick in English football. And look, I think it was a lovely, lovely display from Heung-min Son with 4 brilliant finishes.
Absolutely clinical. Absolutely clinical.
4 shots, 4 goals.
I've never seen someone exploit a defensive high line as much as Heung-min Son did yesterday. Time after time after time, he was just getting in behind. The same trick worked every single time. The defenders were drawn to Harry Kane. Kane picked up the ball and played it over the top to Heung-min Son. It happened 4 times, but it happened a few more times as well. Son just exploited that weakness time after time again, and it worked an absolute treat. And it completely destroyed Southampton's tactics. Their high line, which made it even harder for us to play in the first half, was their undoing in the second half. So their greatest strength was actually their greatest weakness in the second half. And Carl Peters, as much as we praised him on the stream in the first half, he was terrible in the second half. He completely ran ragged.
That's why we sold you.
Got completely ran ragged by Heung-min Son. And wow, not only for all you can say about Kane's assists, which were excellent, we'll get onto that. But some of the first touches from Son to get into himself into positions to strike, absolutely first class.
His second goal when he nipped in front of that defender
got a touch in,
that was insane.
And
his speed as well.
And he made it difficult. Every touch he made, he was just in front of the defender, so he knew if he got clipped, it could have been a red card. Or if defenders tried to make a challenge, it could have been a foul and a penalty. So absolute perfection from Son. Defenders couldn't get near him, couldn't get a touch on him, and he was obviously, we know with Son, he's such a clinical finisher when given the opportunity, when he gets to those positions. So 4 goals from him already. Could he should have
had 5?
Could have had 5. Could he be on for the golden boot? Who knows?
We'll see about that.
Who knows? Or with Bell coming in, look, his mouth makes your mouth water.
Exactly. This is the performance, the attacking performance from Kane and Son needed with Bale coming in as well.
Exactly. He wanted to put a stamp down, marker down, saying, look, we're also here as well, and we've got world class talent already in the team. So really exciting performance from Son.
Yeah, which moves on to Harry Kane, the last of the starting 11. We gave him also a big back 10.
Harry Kane or De Bruyne? Who was it?
This is the first time ever in the player ratings. I think 3 years of doing player ratings. This is the first time we've given 2 10s in one game. And Harry Kane, it's not your kind of usual Harry Kane performance where we're going mad at him for scoring goals. Jose Mourinho rightly butted into two post-match interviews and said Harry Kane was the man of the match, and this is what both of us were saying on the watch along as well, how Harry Kane was just insane. Those passes to Heung-min Son were literally De Bruyne-esque, like you just said. Like, it was insane the way he dropped deep and the way he found Heung-min Son every time. For that third or fourth goal, I can't remember which one it was, he pushes it out to the right, the ball.
Fourth goal, yeah.
Great way to win the ball, by the way. Pushes it out to the right-hand side, takes a quick glance, and then what a ball over to Heung-min Son. And we've seen that before from Harry Kane as well. It's not the first time. People disrespect Harry Kane on this kind of level too many times. People just call him a fox in the box, a target man, what have you. But the guy has it all.
He shut everyone up to
you know what I mean? Arsenal fans always going on about, Aubameyang, the best striker in the league. Aubameyang can only do that in his dreams, and even that it's impossible for him to do.
He could never have done what Harry Kane did yesterday. Mark Goldbridge saying Kane isn't a complete striker. Well, he's completely shut everyone up yesterday, I think, Harry Kane. The most impressive thing is not only was each pass special and each pass inch perfect into Heung-min Son and each pass telepathic, but they're all from different positions as well. The first goal from the left-hand side. Yeah. Second goal from the number 10 position. Third goal inside his own half. The fourth goal from the right wing position. All different angles, all finding Heung-min Son on different kind of runs.
Is that what you call the perfect assist?
Yeah, exactly. It's his
the perfect assist quadruple.
Exactly. It was a world class from Harry Kane. Not only that, topped it all off by getting his poacher's goal at the end as well. It was the perfect display from Harry Kane. Really stepped up as one of the leading attackers in the Premier League yesterday, and he really stepped up for us when we really needed him most. And it was a proper team performance from Kane. He knew that the defenders would be drawn to him, and he knew if he moved wherever he moved, the defenders would be drawn to him, and Son would be left with space in behind. And it worked to absolute perfection. But it's one thing doing that, and there's one thing executing it as well. 100%. And he executed it to perfection.
Do you reckon he's better as a number 9 or a number 10?
Well, he's giving. Well, he's kind of Sheringham and Shearer rolled into one. That's what everyone's saying. And clearly he's got the passing range of a Sheringham. He proved that yesterday 4 times. That's no coincidence. And we've always seen it with Kane, his passing range. I feel like a lot of the time we don't make the most of it. But I think yesterday was a.
I think it gets overlooked a lot.
Definitely does get overlooked. And yesterday he really showed it off. But clearly he still has a goal-scoring instinct as well, getting that poacher's goal at the end. Obviously, he'll probably be disappointed he didn't get a hat-trick himself because he got 2 goals ruled out for offside. But it wasn't him offside; it was 2 other players offside. So, it wasn't
he was
him being
offside for the first one.
No, he wasn't. It was Son.
Oh, I thought it was him.
No, Son was offside for the first one, and Lucas was offside for the second one. So he wasn't offside for either of them. So he'll probably be disappointed he didn't score a hat-trick, but he'll probably be happy with 4 assists yesterday.
And so are we. Let's move on to the substitutes. Giovanni Lo Celso coming on at half-time for Tanguy Ndombele. Gave him a 7. I thought the way he linked up the midfield in the attack was absolutely brilliant. The way he's so combative there in the middle of the park for such a small guy as well. Mm-hmm. I think, you know what, this guy is just a proper baller. And I'm so happy this guy's part of our team. I mean, when you compare his performance with Tanguy Ndombele, I think they were both great performances, but you can see Giovanni Lo Celso is that further ahead in the cycle than Tanguy Ndombele. I mean...
I think Lo Celso was he was in better condition, as Mourinho said, and he got a lot more involved in the play. I was really happy with Lo Celso when he came on. He got involved immediately, getting that ball into Harry Kane, literally 90 seconds after he came on.
He just goes into challenges and stuff like that, and how he can take the ball round and beat a man. Mm-hmm. He's just so imperative to the way we play, because you saw against Everton when we didn't have a Ndombele or we didn't have a Lo Celso how numb we were.
We need them. They're both of them are absolutely imperative to the creativity and the guile that we're going to need in central midfield to play against these teams. And especially when a team presses high and aggressive like Southampton, he's able to ride a challenge like no other player in our squad. He's able to beat a player and find a pass. He's just world-class ability.
He's a workhorse as well.
Really, and exactly. He really doesn't shirk a tackle either. So really impressive by Lo Celso, and really good second half display from him.
And it embodies him, the clip from the documentary when he's injured, he can only play 30 minutes, and he says to Mourinho, "You can count on me." And that is what we love to see from our players.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to Eric Lamela. He came on the 61st minute for Lucas Moura. We gave him a 7. It's just the standard Eric Lamela substitute performances, which we keep banging on about. We always say how good Lamela is from the bench. He comes on, he gives that energy that we know Eric Lamela can give. He goes into
make a difference.
He always makes a difference when he comes on. Those sliding challenges, those energy. He got the assist for the last goal for Harry Kane's goal, hit the post. And he just provides quality when he comes on. Tiring defenders do not want to see Eric Lamela coming off the bench.
Yeah, because he's just a bit of a tricky winger. He's got boundless amounts of energy, and he always closes him down, harassing, putting sliding tackles in. He's got a bit of that fiery side to him, which we all know about. And whenever he comes off the bench, he seems to always want to make a difference. And especially since post-lockdown, he seems to be making a difference every time he comes on off the bench. He seems to be doing something, whether it's getting a goal or assist or
Jose
just contributing.
Seems to love him.
And Jose likes him a lot. And it says a lot there. We're more likely to get rid of Dele than we are to get Lamela. Maybe it says a lot about what Jose sees in both those players. But yeah, good stuff.
It also says how much we can get in as well, though.
Yeah, probably. That's probably something that's probably true. But yeah, really another good cameo from Lamela. Another good cameo.
Last but not least, Steven Bergwijn coming on for Harry Kane on the 84th minute. We're not giving him a rating just because not enough time. Any moments?
Not really. Yeah, it was only on it was only really on 5 minutes, closing the game out. He'll probably be a bit disappointed he didn't get more time on the pitch, but it's what it is.
It was a poor performance last game, so he needs to up his game.
Against Plovdiv, he wasn't at his best, but maybe he'll get a chance to stake a claim against Orient, or if we play the game against Orient, we'll see.
And Jose Mourinho, we haven't given him a rating, but I thought we'd have a little chat about him.
Yeah.
What do you think about Jose? Because I thought the lineup to start off with, probably spot on. It's just a shame the team weren't at it in the first half, because I thought that the personnel and everything was there for us to go and win the game, but in the second half we were just that more aggressive and that more creative.
I think in the first half, obviously, there's no doubt about it. We struggled. There's no getting away from it.
Yeah, Southampton were by far the better team.
But you got to say, and I said this even on the stream, you always felt like when we got the ball and actually had a chance in possession, you always felt like there was a chance to be had there. A few times we got in behind and obviously just offside or whatnot, but the warning signs were there for Southampton in the first half. Even though we struggled in the first half, I think it's no surprise that the more Southampton tired and the more their press got less effective, the more we had opportunities to play Son in behind, and the more we had time on the ball. And the more time on the ball, the more the likelier it is you're going to time the pass better. And that's exactly what happened in the second half. So you've got to say, maybe we were too early to judge properly in the first half, although Southampton were the better team.
I mean, we were going in.
We were going in hard, and I think fairly, because I think Southampton were exposing us for the consistent problems.
At one stage, you were questioning Jose Mourinho's future at the club.
I was questioning what was going on, because the same things keep happening at Spurs, which is really frustrating. But I think obviously there's no doubt about it. I was wrong. I was probably way too early to go as hard as I did, and I think the second half, the tactics, obviously Jose swapped Ndombele for Lo Celso, more of a like for like, but the tactics worked to absolute perfection, getting Son behind. And I think, Lamela made a contribution as well.
Lamela and Lo Celso both made a massive difference.
Yeah, and I think the tactic all day long was to try and find Son behind, and it worked. It was nearly worked in the first half, didn't quite come off. Second half worked an absolute treat. We destroyed them on the counter. They had absolutely no answer to what we had to offer. Mourinho, you got to say, got absolutely spot on at the end of the day.
And in the words of Jose Mourinho, we killed them.
We killed them, exactly. So great display from him. It gives us a renewed sense of belief, I think, going into the season after the Everton game.
I mean, we needed that result. We couldn't put in another poor performance with the signings of Gareth Bale and Reguilon, with all the massive hype around everything. So
it's just what the doctor ordered.
It's kept the feel-good factor at Spurs.
Yeah, exactly. It would have been such a disappointment if we get the signings in and we get a poor performance, and it would have been classic Spurs. Yeah. But I think it's just what the doctor ordered.
100%. Well, there you have it. That is the player ratings from the Southampton game. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on our RR ratings, and also let me know what your ratings are in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.